Yeah, and just want to give a reminder to the people who are in the league, and as well as any viewers that didn't know about this. We are not including Orisa in today's event. We're not going to include her until events after the season ends, or really until she's in competitive, just to kind of stay in line with the whole competitive nature that Overwatch is doing with not releasing her this week. So you won't be seeing any of that today, but you will be seeing some other changes in characters. Like there was a Junkrat change recently that's live. Anna has a nerf that's live also, so we're still going to be seeing some differences than you've usually been seeing in the past few weeks with Overwatch, as this meta has kind of been shifting and trying to shift away from one. But I expect to see. I definitely want to see Junkrat now. Like I usually hate Junkrat, but like I've been playing him. I was playing on the PTR, and I was playing him a little bit like Genji. So I could try to call it like Junk G. I want to see some of that if possible. None of his things damage him. Even his Riptire does not kill him. So usually like Junkrat was pretty good for like suiciding because it was worth it to get that kill on like the Mercy. But now like he won't die when he does it. He won't kill himself, so he can really just jump in, Riptire, and kill everyone. So it's a big change.
Just found out I had my myself muted,
Oh,
but it should be
yep, I
fixed
see
now,
that.
folks. Don't worry about it.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
just
someone
want
was
to give
just
a
telling me
reminder
that you're muted.
to
So
the uh thanks.
Professional
Thanks.
production, ladies and gentlemen. All right.
Yep.
So what we're doing here is we have 6 teams. We're doing a round robin tournament with 3 groups of 3, 3 groups, no, 2 groups of 3 teams that'll be playing each other round robin. The winner of those group stages will proceed to a best of 3. The round robin stage is a best of 1. So these teams have one shot here at Kings Row to make this count, and then we'll be moving on to the next several maps in the series. Just a reminder again, our teams are Scouts and Knives and Mid or I Feed.
yeah, I only really recognize 2 names here, and it's Naughty Fly and next to us. And I remember Naughty Fly actually won in the previous event that we had for St. Patrick's Day. He won as like a substitute in the championship. So he's been here a little bit in like that mix up, but he's actually I think been in every single Madness event that we've had. I guess every event total Naughty Fly has. I'm not sure about many of the others. I think Sweeney Hut Jr. has also been a few of them. But there's definitely some names here that are new to the events, which is good to see. I like to see more people signing up for these events, and we're going to be doing them weekly. You know, it's possible that during the off season we might do multiple in a week. And just a reminder to everyone watching that we are in our final week of the season. We're going to try to give like another week for people to make up games, and we also have the second and third place games. But season 2 information will be posted likely Friday. We want to try to do Friday, but there's no guarantee Friday, but we definitely want to do it very soon. People are eager to know about season 2, what they can do in the meantime, and how they can sign up. So we will be having a lot of information coming out soon, and hopefully we'll have a little QA session for people to ask us questions with the admins, and maybe just have a general discussion about what was great with season 1, what was great with season 2. So please stay tuned, as we will be posting more information about that.
I think our teams are ready, so we're
Yep.
going to get right to the action here, folks. Take away our smiling faces. And we are going to Kings Row. Scouts and Knives versus Mid or I Feed on Kings Row. Mid or I Feed will be on offense first. Scouts and Knives on defense.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to look at these SRs, but I mean, from seeing right now, I know there's a few golds in here. I think that might be the majority of diamond. Haven't seen any grandmasters yet, so that's interesting. I think there's only a few that signed up in this event, so hopefully this one we won't have many connection issues. Let's pray to that.
Yeah, not calling out any Overwatch University League admins or anything. Confider.
Yeah. Yeah. He's had issues. Maybe it's cleared up for him, but it seems like when his went away, someone else did. But he started the trend, so.
Always a trendsetter and in vogue, our local admins. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, coming out of Scouts and Knives, Kuzelnik on Mercy, Tio showing a Soldier, Naughty Fly on Reinhardt. Meanwhile, a few others still making their choices. For mid or I feed, Akura-san on Genji, Sweeney Hut Jr. on Tracer, Cassius still deciding, Watchful 1 on Zenyatta, Mo Quinty on Lucio, and Game Show 21 on Zarya. We have a slight modification here, Game Show 21 Zarya, Cassius now showing the Genji, and Akura-san still choosing. A couple of our defenders have still not picked out of here. We have a Roadhog coming out of Gok 64, we'll see where we head with that. What going on the support role on Lucio, and Lexius still making that decision. So, we'll see what's going on with that. It looks like we have a Zarya coming out of that side. So, I think we're seeing a dive comp come out of here. What do you expect to see as we wait for the next 30 seconds here, Pimp?
I mean, I think that. Oh wait, never mind. They're just switching up the dive comp. I thought for a second they were gonna switch off a dive comp. I know. I think they might get this point easily, just because the dive's been really strong on this map. I think. But I know I can't talk right now. I'm a little distracted. But Naughty Fly, if he plays, he's the Reinhardt on my team, and if he plays well, I think he can deal with his dive since he run it.
Well, here they come. Looks like our attacking team is going through Cinema, making their attack. The defenders, that's a successful, almost a successful transition. Mo Quinty gets pulled out before they can transition over to the high ground. Savage hit right there. Akura-san leading the charge on Genji. And there's a fight up here on the high ground with Soldier and both trying to hold that ground. Genji forced to back off. Naughty Fly and Gox holding the point. So far, it looks like it's going to be a hold. Lexius with another kill. Tio taking out Cassius. And folks, very nice, successful hold. Interrupted right off the bat by that hook off of Gox 64.
Yeah, it looks like this team's going to have to regroup after that push. Wasn't successful.
McQuinty just
they might
can't
try
get
to
away
just
from
get
that.
one ult push in there, but
Yeah, if we look at the war chest here, no ults coming online just yet, but the defending team definitely has the advantage. The closest thing that the attackers have is Watchful's Zenyatta ult. Coming around here on the side, looks like they're going straight down the middle, opting instead of the Cinema attack this time. Akura-san now flirting with the idea, going through the Alderworth Hotel. And they are pushing onto the point. There's a speed boost. Cassius drops the orb. We are engaged on the back line. Naughty Fly takes out Akura-san. Still a blue kill feed here, ladies and gentlemen, though. Oh, that's a support, and the Hog goes down. Watchful pops the Tranquility, keeping the team topped off. There comes the counter sound barrier. And Tio now trying to invert. Game Show coming around to hold that high ground. Tio pops the tack visor. Gets one for his trouble, but a very angry Scientist bopping him all the way back to the enemy spawn. He tries to make it back here, running up through Cinema, fleeing for his life, must defend the point, and that was a Dragon Blade we just heard coming out of Akura-san. Gets one for his trouble, going in for another. The pulse bomb goes off, doesn't get any value. Gox blasts him down with a load of absolute destruction coming out there. Lexius back at spawn here. Gox going out. Yet another kill coming off of there. Let's check in with our Roadhog. Trying to catch that Tracer flitting around in the back line, who is succeeding in getting some damage done. But for all those ultimates, it looks like our defending side still has 3 in their war chest. Meanwhile, the attackers have Graviton. Mo Quinty dropping the Lucio for the Ana. A little bit more counterplay options there. Ooh, Sweeney Hut gets hooked by the Hog.
I think their mic cut out for me, but it's good that they're switching off the dive comp, because there's multiple attempts not working. Now they only have a minute remaining to get anywhere, and there's ult advantages against them. So I think they're really gonna have to. Sweeney Hut Jr. is gonna have to do something if he's gonna stay with that Tracer.
Pimp, we've seen this issue before with Skype. I suspect that the stream can probably hear me just fine, but they might have trouble hearing you because of Skype cutting me out. So I suspect even if you hear me cut out, we should be just fine. Meanwhile, what was that right there? It looked like a Graviton that killed everybody, followed by a Mercy res that was absolutely huge, brought everyone right back up where they were. Tio going ham in the backline, runs into his counterpart, trying to catch them out. Kurosan in danger of a very savage, yep. Down he goes, and that was a hell of a stagger right there. 30 seconds left on the clock. Switching over here, Cassius now dropping the dive comp, going, actually that happened a while back, has the Earth Shatter ready. Reinhardt's squaring off both with their Earth Shatter. The Rhine games are about to begin. Let's see who can get this out. Cassius trying to bait it out of Naughtyfly by dropping and flickering that shield. Tio in the backline gets one off of a attack visor. Gok takes out a Kurosan. Ultimate's getting dropped. The charge, the counter charge. Here come the Earth Shatters, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. Naughtyfly hits the dirt. Cassius gets hooked, but the Uber is in effect. They are dominating this point, ladies and gentlemen. Midweek feed is taking over. Another big res out of Kuzelnik. That is 3. That could completely turn the tide of this battle. And there's the counter ults, ladies and gentlemen. Gox with the whole hog. Naughtyfly getting a big Earth Shatter out. The Reinhardt's battering each other back and forth, but that sound barrier is going to keep Naughtyfly nice and topped off. Cassius going around the corner. McQuinty now trying to do anything that he can to keep this point alive, dropping the nade, but steps off of it just long enough for round 1 to end.
I think we're having a little bit of technical difficulties. I am unable to hear you right now. But if you give me a moment to speak, maybe everyone else can hear me. Okay, everyone's saying I'm quiet. Yeah, so we're having a little bit of technical difficulties. But I actually hold from this team that I don't know the name of, the blue team, I'll just say. And I think Naughtyfly was a really good position. You saw a great Earth Shatter from him at the end, and then a combo from Gox really pushed him off the point, and even a little bit of a battle mercy from Kuz just to, get some extra damage in there. And that beautiful res there to get the team back up, as red team was so close to taking it, but that's one big thing they forgot about was that mercy, and you have to take out that mercy, especially if you're going to play a comp like they were doing.
Props to Kuzelnik for those huge reses. Absolutely turned the tide of battle. I thought Midweek feed was going to take it in that last engagement, but not so. All right, now let's see what our, now that the tables have turned, remember, all that Scouts and Knives has to do to win this point is just capture point A. They don't even have to push the payload at all. Kuzelnik switching from the Mercy to the Lucio. Tio now on Soldier. What on Ana? Gox on Roadhog. Naughtyfly sticking with that main tank role. And Lexius flirting with Sombra. And really, who can blame him? But let's go ahead and see if this actually comes out of this composition.
Well, another thing to note is that Sombra has also had a change that came out recently where she can teleport more often. Her translocator cooldown has been reduced. You can also see the health packs through the wall, and her when she gets out of invis, she doesn't make as lot of a noise, or she doesn't make the noise if you're outside 15 meters from her. So there's a bit of change that we could be seeing that
will definitely make her more viable.
Yeah, definitely, and especially with the health packs being able to see, because that's the big thing is if you don't use the health packs, she's not really worth it. Naughtyfly getting gripped in and manages to stay alive. Oh, he's
Gox going in through Hotel. Good choice. Gets a hook onto a Kurosan, saved by that bubble in the last moment. Sweeney Hut Jr. taking out their counterpart, stopping this offensive at the very least. Interesting choice with Winston Reinhardt. Not uncommon, but definitely 2 main tanks. Gives you a lot of barrier potential. Hog battles. Gox hooked first. Will it cost him? No, he escapes with his life. His counterpart was able to retreat behind shields and get that extra bit of healing. Let's take an aerial view now as Cassius' shield is looking at a little bit of a threat of going down. Naughtyfly and Gox both hanging around the main choke, waiting to make their move. A couple of them moving up through the side. Naughtyfly continuing to keep them distracted. Meanwhile, Roadhog, Sombra going in through the top. Getting ready to drop down. The action moves around the corner. Tio gets hooked in, survives. Hook 3.0 saves the day. They are coming in round now, trying to go through Hotel once another big engagement looking to start. Sweeney Hut Jr. going in there. No Sombra is there. Wants blood, going after it. Both shields in serious damage here. Watchful has a pocket res. Naughtyfly goes down to an excellent sleep dart. And good fire discipline, avoiding, and gets hooked in. That was some excellent play we saw right there, avoiding, hooking him in, and then coming right out with that ultimate. Oh, but countered by the EMP. That was huge. Tio takes out his counterpart. Gox now turning the tide with the Nano Hog. Nobody can withstand that, but an Earth Shatter will stop in his tracks. And then a Nano Rhine Boss goes right in, dropped by Savage Fire from Tio from up above. Lexius now going in. This point is looking more and more blue. Sweeney Hut Jr. drops. Moquinty once again, last person on the point. 5 people on the point. Hog taking a nap. Akura-san pops a panic ult, gets immediately smashed down by Naughty Fly's brutal battle axe. And will anybody from mid or right feed be able to get to the point in time to stop this capture? It doesn't look like it. Watchful's res could have been key there. Watchful goes in. Watchful tries to make it, but no. Everyone has respawned before it's too late. Cassius gets back onto the point. Naughty Fly drops. Oh, Watchful is down. We have the tack visor coming out of Tio into the Earth Shatter. Into the EMP. Oh, the humanity. Baby D.Va hopping around the point. Ladies and gentlemen, that is curtains for King's Row. Scouts and Knives takes this in decisive fashion.
I think we're going to have to switch up our audio here, but yeah, at first it looked like there was a lot of ults coming from blue team. I don't have the list up. That is Scouts and Knives. It looked like they were using way too many ults as it was started with the out of place EMP after the Rhine was already dead, but they still were able to follow. They used that spawn advantage and really showed his spawn right here. Mercy, I think, could have waited a little bit, not have been so much in the fight to try to get a final res by the time the team got back. But yeah, great plays coming from Scouts and Knives.
Absolutely.
But
well, go ahead and update the scoreboard here real quick. So that was a great game, folks. We are next going to follow Mid or I Feed into round 2 as they go up against Like, Comment, and Subscribe. So give us a couple of moments here. We are going to switch our audio to make sure that we have no issues, since Skype is basically the devil at this point. And we're going to go ahead and take a quick moment to get that settled. Stay tuned.
hello guys, thank you for joining us again. Sorry for the technical difficulties, and please let us know if we're having any more audio issues as we have switched. Usually we use Skype for the video and audio, but right now the audio part's a little bit messed up. So we'll be using Discord right now. So please let us know in the chat if the audio is an issue. And it looks like Mid or I Feed will be back on now so that we can get in like, comment, and subscribe, which, rolling off of that team name, you guys should like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah,
like our Facebook page, like our tweets. You should follow us or subscribe to us on Twitch and Twitter at OW University. And you should comment on our Reddit pages, reddit.gg/r/Overwatch University. So also comment on Reddit, and we can call it a comment. Go on our Discord, discord.gg/OW University. You can go there to learn anything about the league, pay attention for events, streams, multiple people streaming, and as well as the official stream. Also, we'll be announcing Season 2 information soon, so if you want to sign up with your team or individually you weren't able to make Season 2, or you're a person who wants to re-sign up, stay tuned, as we will be releasing information on sign-ups and the Season 2 in general. So right now, I'm going to try to read us some results from the rest of the bracket, if anything's been posted. We do have some. So it looks like Dachshunds from Space beat Xantham Gum 3-2. And we have as you just saw here, there was a 1-0 victory by Scouts and Knives. So remember, we got to get that. Oh, you're lobby leader now, by the way.
Yeah, I just noticed that. Whose idea was that? That's a terrible idea.
Yep, because everyone left, and you can't transfer lobby leader yet.
So,
Map changed. All right, let me tweak. Can I not change team names? Lobby. Nope.
yeah, our EU cast was unable to make it today, so we had to cancel. Someone in the chat was wondering that what happened with their chance at casting, but fortunately they weren't able to. But if you do want to cast and you're part of the community, or you're just new to the stream, we do offer chances for people to become official casters on our channel. We try to get people experience from all sorts of levels, and that doesn't just stretch out to our casters. We also do that for coaches and as well as players. It's a big part of this Overwatch University community is based on letting people get or providing opportunities for people to get better at what they enjoy doing, whether it be casting, coaching, playing, but also the community is just a great place to hang out and meet new people and participate in Overwatch events like we are right now.
All right, I believe both teams are ready. Both teams ready. So, ladies and gentlemen, Mid-Eye Feed versus like, comment, and subscribe. They will be going to Route 66. ICL on like, comment, and subscribe is ready. And that's everybody on that team still saying they're ready. Yep, both sides are ready. Let's go ahead and get into the action here. All right, Route 66, and coming out of like, comment, and subscribe, Raccoon on Farah. Zuriel looks like going with the Soldier, ICL playing Lucio, Free Willy on Zarya, and a couple of other people still making decisions.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, so from these players, Free Willy is one of our. You could call him our coach. He's our captain. Our captain's roommate, who's pretty much like records our VODs for us when we play, and he teaches us a little bit. So I expect to see some big plays from him, but I never see him play Zarya. Usually he's on Ana or like Tracer, so I'm interested as why he's on Zarya and not someone like Tracer, because if you can get a Grandmaster Tracer, you can usually sometimes like carry, which maybe he just wants to get be a little more fair. And Zuriel, he was one of my old teammates. He Soldier his guy, but we're gonna see Symmetra not playing Symmetra, but playing Torbjorn.
I have my doubts about that. I have my doubts about whether we're going to see that make its way out. But I do know some of these. You think we're going to see the Battle Wagon?
If you've seen Symmetra play, you will see Symmetra do all sorts of stuff like that. And a side note,
there's the swap.
Health packs also show up in spectator mode.
Noted.
Do once.
All right, folks, so here we have the defending side, Scouts and Knives holding on the top of Big Earls, Akura-san on Reaper, Sweeney Hut Jr. on Lucio, Cassius on Reinhardt, Watchful, D.Va, Mo Quinty on Ana, and Game Show 21. And here they come around the corner. Free Willy leading the charge, going right into that battle. Watchful dropping down. Symmetra now firing orbs as Symmetra into Big Earls, building up charge, up to 48% already. Wagon coming around the side of Big Earls. Cassius now dropping down to contest the cart, tries to get a charge in there, doesn't get any value. Symmetra melts both of the supports in the back line. Oh, savagery! The Indian War Goddess is unleashed. That is another kill.
Yeah, and I told you we were gonna if we weren't seeing Tor, we were definitely gonna see Symmetra on offense. And Symmetra, that's been playing like this for a while now. That's just Symmetra's thing. And if you look at Symmetra's hours, you can kind of guess what hero Symmetra plays.
That is a huge surprise. Well, this cart just keeps on rolling, ladies and gentlemen. It is coming right up here towards the front. Couple of Symmetra turrets on the side to keep. Watchful dives onto the payload, not able to stop them from capping it out. Baby D.Va immediately gets deleted by the Microwave of Doom. Mo, Quinty, and Game Show trying to hold the high ground. ICL going for the boop, sending Game Show into the microwave. The Indian War Goddess is hungry. She chases, and he manages to escape all the way into the back line. ICL way out of position there. Not sure what he was going for, but gets smoked by Cassius on that hammer. No Gorm, no life, holding up the front here with the Reinhardt shield. Zuriel dueling out with Sweeney Hut. Battle on the high ground as all the 3 DPSs are going for the high ground. Note that 3 DPS hold and single tank comp coming out of our defending side. Kurisan manages to take out Zuriel on the high ground. Ooh, Free Willy drops the ult. Let's see what we get out of here. No Gorm, no life with a nice charge onto Watchful. Nano Zarya melting faces. Cassius manages to take Symmetra, knock Symmetra down, but not drop her. Akurasan finally, Sweeney Hut Jr. takes him down. Akurasan now rampaging on the cart, trying to stop it, trying to get some kills. Too much fire coming off that high ground Zuriel on Zed's garage, and the cart just continues to chug right through the streets phase of Route 66.
Yeah, and I think Sweeney Hut Jr. made that decision to go to Pharah after that first time they got wiped out by Symmetra. But you gotta look that you also have Zarya and 2 hit scans, so you're pretty much feeding the Zarya and a death sentence when you have 2 good hit scans.
No Gorm, no life, extremely low on health as he goes in for that charge, takes out his counterpart. I think I just saw a teleporter go up? Yeah, I think it was a teleporter, because I don't see shields on that side.
There's a teleporter. It is up in a little high, cheeky spot.
Well, it immediately gets refunded as they go into the final stage with 5 minutes going towards last. Symmetra way deep in enemy territory. Not sure, just putting turrets on the floating platforms, a little special delivery going to be brought right around the back to the enemy team. And here we go, squaring off. What are our defenders going to do against this? They're sticking with their 3 DPS, sticking with Pharah. No sense dropping that until you get the chance to really use that ult. Watchful, in a bad spot, gets caught out of position and killed for their trouble. Cassius now facing off against No Gorm, no life. Both shields fairly cracked. Sweeney Hut Jr. going in for the sneaky barrage, but a lot of negative attention on it. Goes down as the battle continues to rage on the front line. Free Willy drops from the Quinta. Akurasan trades out for Symmetra. Cassius takes out Rakoln. No Gorm, no life now leading the charge back into the front. A lot of casualties on both sides, and with Cassius getting topped off by that Symmetra. Ooh! But Free Willy takes down the Mercy, changing the tide of battle. It looks like, ooh, there's the Earth Shatter coming out. No Gorm, no life still healthy. Cassius going for a nice ride, taking Free Willy into the back and managing to secure the kill. Game Show going crazy, taking out No Gorm, no life, and we finally have a stop to this brutal offense.
Yeah, I think it's... I honestly am liking this push, especially with here with the Symmetra. You have that alternative to the Ryan Shield, but you really... The way they're playing it grouped up together, it works out perfectly because anytime they want to get in there, Symmetra can just melt them away.
Just wait till Orisa is official, folks. The barrier meta is coming.
Yep. It won't be... I don't think it'll be uncommon to see all 3 barrier heroes in one team.
Yep. Bigger. Ooh, the Graviton gets a little value. The Earthshatter doesn't get a whole lot, and the Res comes in after both crowd control ults are used. No Gorm, no life gets Ubered, but immediately slept. Sweeney Hut Jr., Nano Pharah in the back line. Both Ryans taking a nap. Then Zuriel comes around the side with the tack visor, trying to close this out. No Gorm, no life. Now, the rock against with Symmetra's hard place goes down, but ooh! Solo ulted! Well, can you really blame the man?
Yeah, I think that one thing that they can start working on going into this next team fight is they pretty much know where Symmetra is going to be. I think they should really try to focus, and I think that switch to Winston is a really good effort at getting, shutting down that Symmetra. And I think it's what they needed from the get-go rather than that Pharah.
Absolutely, that would really have helped them with those turrets, with shutting down Symmetra and attacking the supports in the back line. Now we see both soldiers squaring off on the high ground. Game Show trying to get some value. He has Symmetra in his sights and he has attack visor. When will he activate it? That barrier doing a lot of work to shut down Symmetra's microwave beam, as Game Show is getting more value here, but the card is still contested with 3 people on it. It starts to progress once again. Zuriel down to just a chip of health. Akurasan with the Death Blossom going in for a sneaky flank. No Gorm, no life dropping. They need to get out there right now. Are they going to be able to hold this out with so many people down? Akurasan tries to get his ult off. No Gorm, no life. Drops ult, misses that. Akurasan goes for 3 with the Death Blossom. That was a huge kill. But Symmetra just dropped the shield generator. to solidify their attack. Another Resurrect comes out of that side. Big plays here. No Gorm, No Life takes a nap, but immediately gets protected. That bubble protecting him from the Tesla gun, which goes right through the Rhine shield, charging his way into the back line as they call a retreat.
Yeah, that res really came in handy there. I mean, I think that they also could have held on it, but Kurosan getting that triple kill with his Death Blossom really helped slow this down and, you know, let them group back up to have one last defense on here. But they're gonna have to get that shield generator down if they're really gonna want to have any effort at taking down this team. So
absolutely. If you're looking at ultimate economy, when you have a Symmetra with an active shield generator, you have to consider that to be an ult already in play. So really, that's 4 ultimates, nearly 5 on the side of our attacking team. There goes the beat drop. Here we go. Diving right in. Raid boss is active. He's going crazy. He just dropped his ultimate. He goes for the swing. He gets pulled in. That's a terrible camera angle as Zuriel is killing everybody. Give me a moment here, folks. There we go. And right back to him being asleep. Lots of kills on that side. We are so close to the final checkpoint, but the blue team is making a comeback. Angry Scientist batting the Indian Death Goddess around, takes her out. Another successful hold, and with 30 seconds on the clock, do they have anything in their pocket that they can use to close this out?
nope. And Symmetra also has another shield gen already ready for the one last push that she's gonna have to put down ASAP.
It's gonna have to happen in the next 10 seconds.
Res for Watchful was great in this, and you know they gotta watch out that there's not another one.
Here we go.
Almost getting ult.
Squaring off, Sweeney Hut Jr. dropping in. Akurusan finds Rakoln, getting more value. No Gorm, No Life gets dropped before that teleporter can go down. Those respawn timers are going to work against them. They have to keep this cart alive if they're to have any hope of using that teleporter. Symmetra gets solo ulted. Rakoln keeps the cart alive, gets slept, gets taken down. Will anyone? Nope, it doesn't look like anyone's going to be around in time because Watchful took out the teleporter. That is round 1 complete.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to. This team really got their stuff together on the side of mid or I feed, as they were getting overtaken almost immediately throughout the majority of the map. And so I think a very impressive hold by them, and I think they're gonna have a good counter on Symmetra going into their attack.
Absolutely. Let me just go ahead and update the. I don't need to update the scores here. So, folks. You can see the holy golden rectangle of victory, agonizingly close to the final checkpoint. That means a draw is out of the question. It is going to be a win or a loss for one of these two teams. There will be no tiebreaker. There will be no additional rounds. This is it. Very similar comp now coming out of the side of Scouts and Knives. Akurusan sticking with the Reaper, which really came alive in the close quarters of the final stage. Harder to pull off in these open areas, part of why they suffered during the early game. I also think that they finally adapted to Symmetra's shenanigans. They really were not expecting, although granted her name is Symmetra, it's hard to deal with that really aggressive, effective attack Symmetra right off the bat. Now it looks like they're going for a hybrid comp with a core pool on the back line of Cassius, Moquinty, and Game Show with the Death Ball. Sweeney Hut Jr. and Watchful able to play the flank and the side attacks, and then Akurusan dropping the Reaper for the Mercy. Okay, so we could see some Pharah Mercy coming out here. Meanwhile, Symmetra, setting up around this large rock outcropping, multiple turrets going there, most of the team sticking on big Earls, and a similar composition coming out, just Free Willy staying on the Zarya, Rakoln on the, on Zenyatta instead of Ana, and ICL playing Mercy.
Yeah, I think they're going for a similar. I mean, I think that the other team, like, comment, and subscribe. I honestly, I feel like they're going to be expecting a similar feel or attack like they had, but on defense this time. But I think that they're going to get overran. The Symmetra's getting 2 counters on her. It can only happen, so many times. You learn your lesson the first time you lose.
Fool me once, but speaking of getting fooled, that boop going down, No Gorm, No Life getting dropped down on below. Sweeney Hut Jr. going ape with the Scientist, No Gorm, no life down. That is their front line gone. Free Willy has to rely on that Mercy support in order to get any value. Symmetra taken out by Cassius. And now Sweeney Hut Jr. in a little bit of a bad spot, but Akurasan tries to come to the rescue. No dice, but here comes Cassius, the cavalry, armed with a hammer. One person still on the payload. Lucio just chilling and pushing that along as Free Willy comes around from the side trying to stop it. And one thing that I noticed, neither team really put up a strong defense on point 1. They rolled through with plenty of time, 5 minutes, 25 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, as you're saying, like fool me once. They went with the double counter for Symmetra, which is something big. If there's if you spot that big problem, you have to eliminate that and keep going at that until they switch off. So if it's working out, I think that they're going to stick with us until Symmetra switches.
Alright, speaking of which, as we fly past that photon barrier, bit of a scattered fight coming here. Like we said, we have the Pharah Mercy playing off of the Winston as they come around here along the high side. No Gorm, no life, and Rakolin trying to take some high ground. Rakolin now moving into that area, watchful over on Pharah, getting work done, contesting this high ground. Direct hit onto Zuriel, very nicely played. Zoning out all enemies, but nobody currently on the cart as they engage on the rest of that fight. Coming around on the back line now to attack ICL. Going in. Big barrage from the back. Doesn't get a whole lot of value. Could have had several there, but does take out one support. And it does seem to be enough for them to push along. Symmetra now trying to melt face on the back line, but not getting a whole lot of value off of that. Gets melted down herself. And yet another fairly uncontested Phase 2 in this match. These teams seem fairly evenly, either they're very well matched, or our blue team has finally figured it out, they've gotten themselves together, and they are ready to go.
I definitely think it's the latter, as you've been saying, the double counter. And I don't think they they have an issue with taking out the Pharah and the Winston. Those are two things you got to focus on. Do you want to get the switch off to get a Reaper, or do you want to focus more on the Pharah? Maybe getting an extra hit skin in there.
All right, folks, let's go ahead and catch up with the battle as they round the corner. Not a lot of contest going on here. 5 minutes to go, and look how close they are. But if one team could do it, maybe the other can. Let's see if they're able to pull it out here. The Graviton into the sound barrier, keeping everybody topped off. Nobody goes down. Oh, never mind. That is the front line, and there will be no res coming out for our defending side. But our attackers pop it. Akurasan with the res, and Zuriel, Cassius drops the Earth Shatter, doesn't get any value there, but is chasing Zuriel into the back line. Sweeney Hut takes out the shield generator. Rakolin goes down. No value here. No Gorm, no life. Charging onto the payload. There's the res for one. And the counter rocket barrage. Zuriel ends it in its tracks, but this is a brawl on the payload here, ladies and gentlemen. That's attack visor immediately shut down, and then the counter attack visor. Game show host cutting people down for a triple. That could be play of the game, ladies and gentlemen. That is the match. Midrai Feed taking it with, actually, let me just double check my names here. I could be an idiot.
That's Midrai Feed. Yep.
Nope. Midrai Feed taking it over. Like, comment, and subscribe. 3-2.
Yeah, and I think, it really was a game of rock, paper, scissors there, as the scissors finally met its rock with the Winston and the Safara. So, big plays there.
Is this a Lucio play of the game I see?
It is.
Well, it was the play that I said, just not the perspective we expected to watch.
Yep.
Well played to both sides. We will be following, like, comment, and subscribe as they face off against the winning team from our first match, Scouts and Knives.
Yeah, but I'm definitely going to expect the same thing coming out of like, comment, and subscribe with the Symmetra. At least I think they're going to try it and figure out what happens from there. It will be on control point, as we are going to be going over to Nepal, so I've seen some people say they prefer control point Symmetra over attack Symmetra. But I know Symmetra is usually, probably going to stick with that just because of the name. But I've seen Symmetra also play some Reaper too, so if they, need someone. But also we saw Symmetra switch to Lucio, so if they figure out, okay, we don't want this Symmetra, it's not really going to work for us, then I'm expecting Symmetra to switch off, go to Lucio. And I'd really like to see something more out of Free Willy. He is their Grandmaster player, and it would be nice to see him get on. Well, I guess he's Master on this account. He has a Smurf that he's Grandmaster on. But it'd be nice to see him get on a role like Tracer or even Anna, as Anna's his like primary character.
Give us a moment here, folks, while we get the lobby sorted out. More exciting admin work. God, where's deuces are those edit buttons for the team names? Now, it's odd because I didn't create the lobby. I just inherited.
You cannot do that because we would have to create a new lobby.
All right, then. That's exactly what I'll do.
Yep. So if you have a lobby and it gets passed over to someone, it is really weird and you can't change the names. It's a bug. There's a few other bugs sometimes where you can't change the settings properly because of that. But that is the big bug, is that you can't change the team names. So
let me update the brackets real quick. Once I've done that, if you can talk a little bit about what we're seeing from the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, so on the other side, I mentioned this earlier, Dachshunds from Space beat Xanthem Gum 3-2. And we just got another update that Dachshunds from Space lost 2-3 to the Payload is Lava. So, we're kind of in the same boat. Both sides of the bracket, where this next game could determine a three-way tie, as one team lost and one team won. So we could be seeing a three-way tie. We'll have to go down to tiebreaker from points. So that's why we're asking for teams to report the score of the match, so that we can do a like an efficiency thing, or kind of so out of X points available, then we'll decide. So that's the way we'll do it if there is a three-way tie. We have a tiebreaker format for it. So we are also posting I'll post the bracket to the chat too, just for anyone else wondering about what the bracket's like. I just posted it in the chat right now. So go ahead and look at that, and you can see for yourself the two different group stages that we got in here. But it's really, really, really close from both sides.
All right, let's see here. So, kill feed on, kill cam off.
Yep.
Hero limit 1 per team. Random disabled. There we go. And let me see if I can figure out how to deactivate Orisa, just to be absolutely.
Yeah.
Hero roster. Here we go.
Yep. Hero roster.
Hey, professional.
So just a reminder to people watching that we are not allowing Orisa in the current season and in the current events until Blizzard puts Orisa on the competitive market. We kind of want to roll off that same environment that they're setting up for us. So with doing so, there's that. But also with the new update that came out yesterday, which we haven't seen a Junkrat yet, but there was a Junkrat buff where he can no longer kill himself.
I don't think it's going to happen. Just putting that out
we
there.
We did see a bit of Sombra today, where Sombra was able to get 2 EMPs off fairly fast, partially probably because the health packs show up through walls now, and even they show up through walls for casters as well. So you'll be able to see that when maybe someone's running to get a health pack, you can see that that's what they're going for.
All right, folks, almost got our lobby all situated. Both teams are standing by. We've got the team names right this time, which I'm exceptionally excited about.
Yep, you got that working.
Despite No Gorm, No Life's attempts to troll me. All right, so I think we're all set. Go. What was that?
I was just going to say, after this, we will be streaming the finals, which the finals will be a best of 3. All the other rounds in here have been best of 1, just to make it so we are not going till midnight, like some of them have gone, because there have been disconnects and just it's an issue getting all 3 games played because some games finish very fast and some games take forever because they go to every single tiebreaker possible, and they go to every last point that you can get on every round. So we'd like to just, we're trying to make this a little bit faster so that it's not a struggle, and so that more people can play it without having levers and the need for subs. So so we will be seeing, and I think it's if Scouts and Knives wins this, they will for sure be going to the the finals. And on the other side, if the Payload is Lava wins, they will for sure be going to the finals. So until then, I don't know what happens if those teams lose. We still have to do the math with those points. But if I do know Scouts and Knives wins right now on Nepal, they will go to the finals, which will be a best of 3. So I also want to notice, if you're watching this, please, follow us, subscribe on Twitter at OW University, but also, especially on here on Twitch, we're so close to hitting 300 followers, and it's really great to have all these viewers and followers that are interested in seeing Overwatch in a semi-competitive nature. We are the largest recreational Overwatch league because we accept players from all skill levels, and we have opportunities from players from all skill levels to play with players on a similar skill set. So it's really great. I'd love to get that 300 follower count, hopefully, which will be going, which we're 20 followers away. So if you want to share us, please do. I'd give you cookies, but I don't really have any to send you.
I have a nice hat that I got to keep. You could send that out.
Yeah, that is true. Which means I have to find something to send Gnome.
We'll figure that out. Let's go ahead and talk about this game that we've got going down here. First off, I don't think that I have changed the names. Let's see. So, like, comment, and subscribe on the one side. Scouts and Knives on the other. Let's go in, folks.
Yeah, and it looks like Symmetra is going to be back on Symmetra. And it looks like we are on Shrine. Yes, this is Shrine, I believe.
Fixing those names here as our heroes go charging into battle.
Interesting comp, actually, from both sides. We have the single tank with Free Willy on Zarya coming from this team. Like, comment, and subscribe. Well, we have the double main tank coming from Scouts and Knives. So a little interesting to see this. But we do have Pharmacy coming from both. And we have a little Pharmacy battle going in the sky with Gosh getting the win there.
Getting the better of it.
Yeah.
Most impressive. And we were all impressed in our first round, if you recall. Gox was going ham on the Roadhog, getting a lot of work done. And it looks like Scouts and Knives is in position to take over the point. Racoln doing his best to get some damage in there on the side. Back now from the Great Pharmacy Wars. No Gorm, no life, bouncing around, trying to keep the point alive as long as possible. Now taking the better part of Valor, backing up as Gox gets the better of Racoln again. Gox now picks off No Gorm, no life. Going absolutely off here. Getting a majority of the damage done, although, not to down-talk Tio, who's sitting at 62% of ult. Lexeus, Winston, rocking the 74%, as both of these two units go up to take the high ground. Gox now hopping over the top, then ambushing their own people, but then Racoln comes in from the side and wins this time around. Excellent kill. Racoln now benefiting from that shield generator, engaging the hostile scientist, trying to control that high ground. You'll notice that like, comment, and subscribe is not yet going in for the kill. They have not made an attempt to get the point. They are just trying to win the high ground, win the valuable ground, and that's particularly important because they've got their shield generator up there, which is where a lot of Symmetra's value is locked up at this time. Racoln tries to go in for the kill, and then gets hit by Attack Visor. Can you swap that damage out to finish it off before it's too late? No, but Pharmacy's going to keep him alive. Tio takes Zuriel for his trouble, but doesn't get a whole lot more than that. Racoln holding on to that ultimate, waiting for a chance. Goes down. Zuriel now coming around the side, going back from spawn. They try to flip the point. They've almost got it here. No Gorm, no life, bouncing around on the payload. Free Willy doing his best, drops the ultimate. Attack Visor into, and that is a double kill, but immediately negated. 3 people back up from that resurrection. Hostile sound barrier comes out. No Gorm, no life now has his sound barrier. Avoids that attack. Lexi is in the background takes out the shield generator, and the counter res now, followed by the sound barrier. A nice support combo here, as the kill feed slowly but surely starts to turn red, then blue, then red, then blue. Back and forth, the monkey goes down. No Gorm, No Life is on fire. Symmetra kills 3. It is the battle of the supports here, and like, comment, and subscribe gets on the board with 92% on the red team side. That was a...
Yeah. One of the issues, though, that we saw was three ults blown right away when it was at the start of the fight. So we had the Mercy Res followed by Drop the Beat, and then we had the Rocket Barrage, which didn't get anyone. So Gox had a little bit of wasted ult there, and they were so close to, they could have held that a little bit, and
yeah, I mean,
now they're going to go into this with a few less ults in them.
Speaking of ults, Symmetra gets knocked down, saved for a moment by that barrier, but then immediately picked off. Scouts and Knives back looking for blood. Naughty Fly back up to 20% already. Lexaeus gets taken down before he's able to go Angry Monkey. No Gorm, No Life does taken out by Tio as Gox tries to get some value around the side here as they make this retake attempt. Meanwhile, the counterpart, Racolin, gets dropped down by Tio. Let's go ahead and check in on that. Right there. Has the Tact Visor, making an escape, 93% on the point. Like, comment, and subscribe. Trying to come back around for a retake, but with all these ultimates in their bank, here they go. Going for it. There is the... Going for the Tolbestein. There will be no res. Racolin with the Barrage, the original Wombo combo, ladies and gentlemen. That combo did the trick, and a retake, 48% to 99, as Free Willy comes right back out there, trying to force the enemies back. Takes a huge hit off of Gox there, but once again, Lexaeus is on the shield generator. It goes down, reducing Symmetra's value considerably.
Yeah, and good comeback as they were able to get this point back. And great combination from Free Willy and Racolin that, but a wasted ult by Tio as his whole team was dead, and that Visor is really going to come in handy now as they are on likely their last push.
Coming around here, 83% to 99%. Free Willy lasering down the Scientist, trying to get some value. Gox holding on to that Barrage. Goes around, takes out Symmetra, takes out ICL, drops the Barrage, pops right through the Zarya barrier, nearly gets melted down by Free Willy, but that is a near wipe as Racolin is the last one alive, taken down in air-to-air combat. Gox now going in to seal the deal on point 1 of Nepal.
Yeah, and it looks, I mean, that's the side I thought was going to win this coming in, but I mean, there was a bad ult management on their side late in the game. They were starting to play a bit sloppy, and fortunately for them, they were able to, they were able to, especially Lexus was able to take out both the support, 2 of the supports if you include Symmetra as a support, and the teleporter, which really helped them secure that final fight there. And then with the little Gox with that last Rocket Barrage to secure that point.
All right.
I think we might see maybe a little more success from the side of I forgot to like, comment, and subscribe here. With Symmetra, I think has more coverage for her turrets on this map.
No Gorm, No
But,
Life.
they switch.
Showing Widowmaker, making the swap. Symmetra on the, like you said, on the Zenyatta. Let's see where this goes. Tio already racking up some charge here. Moving around the side, in the gallery, fighting for control of this key high ground. No Roadhog to take advantage of it, but definitely a shooting gallery. Symmetra goes down, combined fire off of Tio and Gox. Now they're moving on to aggress onto the point. Naughty Fly charges into the enemy's back line. D.Va gets desuited very quickly. No Gorm, No Life drops the Scientist. Excellent shot there. What? Boops Racolin into oblivion. And this will once again be a take by Scouts and Knives. Widowmaker coming around the side. No Gorm, No Life. Going for some value. Sees Tio in the high ground. Tio's taking heavy fire, shooting heavy fire onto his position. Has to get out of here, has to get some support, or things are going to not look good. Let's switch back over here to Tio, who is on the point with Tact Visor, charged up, doing a lot of work. Takes that ICL off of a rocket, moving around to the side to protect the Scientist. A heavily fortified enemy position here, but artillery fire coming in from Gox over the side. Meanwhile, like, comment, and subscribe, splitting their force around both sides. Only a Lucio to contest on the one side. D.Va playing support to Widowmaker. Free Willy taking some shots off of Tio along the side. Widowmaker now on the high ground, combined fire, excellent focus fire, drops him down immediately. Here comes the Graviton Surge. counter TO with the, immediately dropping down person after person, and the sound barrier just to keep everyone topped off. That was a lot of ultimates, but it was an excellent fight on the side of Scouts and Knives. Free Willy on the point, trying to get some value here. Symmetra now diving onto the point. Free Willy takes out a support, takes out a scientist, but Symmetra catches a Helix rocket to the face, and there's some brutality going on in that room over there on the side, ladies and gentlemen. Naughty Fly doing absolute work.
And we get a switch here as no Gorm, no life. Gets on the Roadhog. I think Roadhog's pretty effective here. It's one of my favorite maps. It actually is my favorite map on Nepal to play as Roadhog. But I think they're looking as a way to counter the Winston as Winston. Oh, and Winston tries to barrier that ult, and I think that ult could have been saved a little bit. But
notice, by the way, what gets booped into boops No Gorm No Life into Oblivion, and did you notice Symmetra swapping back to Symmetra and unfortunately getting deleted from existence?
Yeah, with 5% left, they're really not going to have any time to get back. And it looks like we're going to see another take from Scouts and Knives as they are up in the series 2-0. So we're going to have to see a big comeback. A reverse sweep from like, comment, and subscribe. And they're really going to have to reconsider their comp. They're going to have to... I think they're going to have to get a switch to take care of Lexus, as he's just been annihilating the supports this game, and there's really not enough coverage on them, from the tanks they have, and the DPS, and not focusing down the Winston, which is a big thing.
Well, if No Gorm No Life plays Roadhog as an enforcer protecting the back line, that can be a highly effective counter to Lexaeus. I would like to see Symmetra go back to the Zenyatta to combine that with the Discord Orb, one of the best deterrences.
I would agree.
And here they go, out the gate. It's Scouts and Knives controlling the high ground while Gox goes in on the left-hand side. Battle for the high ground now commencing. Both teams coming out around this pagoda. Free Willy leading the charge behind that Symmetra shield. Gox going in from the side. ICL caught out in a bad position. No kills yet, but Scouts and Knives definitely has control of the battlefield. Lexaeus takes out a support by going in. Dives now onto Free Willy. Free Willy goes down. 4 on 6 on the high ground. Racon trying to get some shots off there. Lexaeus goes in. No Gorm, no life. This is his chance to take out Lexaeus. Catches a fire blast to the face. Lexaeus going in and then escapes. Tio seals the deal. Lots and lots of kills coming out on the side of Scouts and Knives here, folks. And a parting shot to Symmetra.
Yeah, well, Lexaeus getting slept here, but I think he'll have enough to get out. As Lexaeus has really been a menace for this team, and if this team learned anything, I would expect the Reaper to come out. And Symmetra, I know, can play Reaper. It's kind of surprising to not see it, to be such a hard counter for this hero.
Let's check in on this brawl happening up on the front side. That is a tack visor coming out of Tio. He is on fire, trying to get some work done. He knows there's Symmetra hiding there in the back line. He's going for it. Absolutely annihilated. Booped in the face. Ouch. Meanwhile, his counterpart, Zuriel, waiting for the entire team to be on the same side. Now, we do have nearly 4 ultimates. Symmetra makes a swap to Mei. Not getting the value you're looking for. Going to Mei, who can also operate as an enforcer. No Gorm, no life, taking heavy fire. Will he be able to escape? He goes to take a breather. He has the ultimate. Zuriel pops ultimate, takes out Gox coming around the side. Those barriers are really slowing them down, killing their crossfire, and Tio is not similarly impeded. Naughty Fly goes down, but Tio just doing work in the back line. Symmetra trying to hold out on the point. Freezes, backs up. Let's check in on Ricole. Nope. And they are just having a lot of trouble contesting this point as Gox comes around the side, just trying to control the high ground with 4% until ultimate and 80% on the board. Something needs to change very quickly from like, comment, and subscribe, or Scouts and Knives are going to sweep this particular series.
Yeah, and it was looking like we have a little bit of technical difficulties with the scoreboard, but the 2 is inverted, but that's besides the point. As there's one last effort coming in, and like, comment, subscribe is not likely to get this, as they are getting annihilated by Scouts and Knives, and there's no time for this team to get back, as Scouts and Knives is going to take this side of the bracket. They have won 2 now, and they completed this one 3-0, so that will be it for this side of the bracket. Group B goes to Scouts and Knives, and I don't believe we have an update yet on the score of the other game. I will check right now. and we do Payload is Lava 1, so the next game we will be seeing is Payload is Lava going up against Scouts and Knives for the finals.
Folks, we'll be taking a quick break while we get that sorted for you, get our map pool settled. That is likely to be a best of 3, so stand by for that. Thank you once again for joining us. Hopefully this time the 2 will not be inverted to look like a 5. We'll take care of that and other things. Stay tuned.
Hello, buddy, and welcome back. We're going to have our championship now for the Midweek Madness. This is the second week we've done it, but it's our third actual Madness event, starting off with our Mardi Gras Madness. Anyway, we have Scouts and Knives going up against the Payload is Lava. Payload is Lava, consisting of one of our other admins in the league, Conviter. He is one of our head admins on the EU side, and hopefully he's not lagging out today, as he is our I would say our official lagger.
It's actually his title.
events.
We've
But, yeah.
solidified it in the league charter.
So, but anyway, for this series, we'll be seeing our first map on Hanamura. Following that, we will see Eichenwald, and after that, everyone's favorite control point map, Licheng Tower. So, we'll be seeing the Weeb Madness as we see Hanamura and Licheng in the same pool here. And we're just taking across seas going into Eichenwald.
And here we go, folks. What might be the most sadistic map pool that we've selected yet. Starting with Dranamura itself. Let's see what these two teams have in store. Payload is Lava versus Scouts and Knives. Good luck and have fun.
Yeah, I'm expecting to see a very similar lineup as we've been seeing from Scouts and Knives. But oh, maybe not. I was expecting we were going to see Conviter on some Genji. Has been playing a lot of Genji lately in these events. But I think as we go into, I think on attack we'll probably see a little bit more Genji coming out of Conviter. We are seeing a pretty standard triple tank, probably the most commonly used triple tank combo now from the Payload is Lava with
Both
Tilamo
sides.
on that Reinhardt. I know Tilamo plays Reinhardt in the league. He's a Division 13 team on my former team, and I've seen Johnny Sins was also a fairly well player in the last Irish, luckily Irish brawl. Him and Conviter, one of the two main Genjis in the event. So I'm curious if they're gonna have a fight over who gets to play Genji going on attack. And Binkley is a Division 14 player. I think he has won an event in the past playing Mercy. Pretty sure that's Binkley's main. If not, it could just be because it's a Division 14, so likely a bronze player playing on the Mercy just for that little easy roll. But on the other side, we're also
sure
gonna see
Binkley
Mercy.
does have that coveted pink title, by the way. But go ahead.
Yeah, I think Binkley does have the pink title. So that just a reminder that even if you're a bronze, you can still win this event because the pairing that of the teams you can get. But let's get going as we have a almost similar comp from both teams, except for one has Lucio, one has Ana.
And they are off, ladies and gentlemen, as our attackers are coming around the side. Naughty Fly representing Scouts and Knives, attacking the Payload is Lava defense here, who will only be playing one payload map, I should point out. And we are at the poke and the choke phase, everybody's favorite. Not a whole lot of dive potential on these two teams at the moment. Cement in the backline, they're going to have to make a play. The over the charge immediately caught out by Druid on the Roadhog. Very nice withdraw, back to the point, no casualties yet. And while the offense is still making progress, two hooks go back. Now Tio, once again, getting lots of work done. Let's check in with our boy here. Just dropping people left and right from the side. Immediately on fire, there is a soldier. Conviter is up on the top. He's trying to make his escape. He gets gunned down. A stagger spawn. Very fast capture on the side of Scouts and Knives. 3 minutes nearly on the clock as they proceed.
Yeah, very, very fast cap here. Usually you can at least hold that for quite a few pushes, but now as Scouts and Knives doing what they've been doing all game, or all day pretty much, is just running through the house.
Here we go with a fight in the choke. Battle here on the high ground. Very common strategy for one side to hold it, and you got to take this ground if you want it. Naughty Fly trying to go in. Tilmo's shield gets bust. No, Tilmo gets hooked in, but no value. Drops the Earth Shatter, smashes what against the wall, and that is the tack visor coming out of Tio over on the side, getting some work done. Not a whole lot of kills, unfortunately. And on a map like this, most of the time, if you take that many casualties on the offense, you're going to have to reset. But let's see if he can do it with taking out Binkley first. Very wisely withdraws, trading bullets with Conviter before backing up. Conviter now on the high ground, has that tack visor in his pocket. Yet another battle here for the high ground. with Soldier Tio on the far side, trying to get some crossfire in there, throwing some rockets. Lexeus does not get hooked in, drops the Graviton, but where is the follow-up? Here it comes in the form of a whole hog, but immediately counter-grabbed, and the exact same play goes much better on the side of the payload is lava, as they get the value they were looking for. Tio gets a couple of parting kills, but Binkley is there with the res just to keep everyone fully alive and say any chances you had of making a push completely shut down.
Yeah, I think this team's really gonna group up and like they're really just they're delaying the inevitable right now. As Lexeus died there, has to scramble out alive if he can, and he's himself was almost about to go down. They really need to group up. I mean, they do have 5 minutes to kill some time, but what they were doing right now is just feeding ults for the enemy team. Is they need to. Oh,
Tilmo with a big Earth Shatter on the ramparts, gets a couple for his trouble into a res. Not sure about that res. I mean, yeah, you use the Earth Shatter, but then you're just gonna hook and charge Gox into oblivion. Tilmo taking a ride. Let's check in on Convider, who's still up here, and that is a big Earth Shatter coming out. Tio cleaning up Naughty Fly, falling right behind, as they are on the point now with 4 people.
Team kill! Yeah, Naughty was able to get that amazing Earth Shatter while the whole team was pretty much in front of Tilamo's shield. So unfortunate there. Either that or it was an excellent bait, but Naughty, and I gotta give props. That's my teammate. So good Earth Shatter by him, and good follow by the rest of the team as Tio popping that visor, able to take out the rest of the players that were not involved in the Earth Shatter. And that team kill really led them to get that. And as I'm saying that, looks like we are going to be seeing Johnny Sins is going to be the one that's going to go on Genji. So Convider is going to give up that role, despite Convider being in that. I believe he's Grandmaster level, while Johnny Sins is only in Diamond. So, and Convider actually.
If Convider's going with the, you think we're going to see the offensive Widowmaker come out?
Oh, I do believe he's going to go for it a little bit, but I'm really curious of what he's going to go to next. Is he going to be the one to switch to a Winston? I believe that's really all there's room for in this comp that they're going with. But yeah, Johnny Sins on the Genji, he had 2 excellent play of the game moments from the Luck of the Irish brawl that were I would say they were the highlight of the event. I would say maybe it was just to match the theme of the event with green, but there was a lot of Genjis last event, so
it's a little culturally confusing, but in terms of color palette, it makes sense. Lexeus taking a break to just play some video games here. I mean, there's a nice arcade that is probably in the process of being absolutely destroyed by the payload is lava. Let's just take a look at here. This is going to take... I hope they have insurance. That's all I have to say about that. The dive comp is in full effect, ladies and gentlemen. Druid has swapped off onto the Winston. Meanwhile, Scouts and Knives choosing to go with the Symmetra? Yeah, nope, that's happening. Not a bad place for it.
And
but
the May.
And the May. So a very, very... I don't want to say cheesy, but a very nest-focused strategy. Let's see how it pays off against this dive comp. Druid going in for the dive. That does not get a whole lot off of that. Let's check in on Johnny Sins as he tries to get up and over to get some value. Here he goes, diving on, meets the D.Va, does not want any part of that. Convider, meanwhile, takes out Kuzelnik. That is a support down for the defense. That is an important pick. Tilmo gets dropped out. Someone is on the point. It is Winston. That is exactly his job. But meanwhile, Johnny Sins going in, going for the kills. Convider picking them off. This defense is just melting against this very aggressive pick-based composition.
Yeah, and I think big help from Convider there as he's getting those picks off, especially taking out Kuz, which is one of their main support here. And that was their only support if you don't count Symmetra. So
that's a time to rival the first time. 7 minutes on the clock to make the attack.
So these teams that say are fairly even on their attack. Well, let's see how the defense holds up here, and maybe you can see a bigger hold coming out from Scouts and Knives.
One important thing to point out, though, is that this time there is a defensive Mei, and if they just try to go for that high ground upper right-hand offense, a Mei can shut it down. but it is not going to be as effective against this dive comp. Ooh, headshot to Gawk, sniper on sniper violence, and that is another kill. What goes down? If anything is going to tear this defense open, it's going to be the sniping going on here. Druid gets another kill. That is Mercy down. D.Va trying to enforce, but getting taken out very quickly. Angry Monkey comes out, and that happened so fast. I barely caught all of that.
Yeah, we're putting the draw Amora to its name as both these teams are tied now, and they're gonna have their second chance at an offense. And it's a lot of times left. It's nearly almost like it's just like a brand new start of the game. So if we do see a tie here, I believe I think we should go to best of one on Ilios. If we do see a draw here, we see too much Oasis during the season, so I think we can switch to Ilios during the.
Just remember, Pimp, we did this to ourselves. We deserve this. We're bad people, and we should.
It was my idea. It was my idea to go with
I was going to take equal blame there, but if you're willing to fall on that particular sword, then by all means, be my guest.
Yeah, no, it was my choice just for pure chaosity reasons. But I do kind of like to see, maps here. I think because we can see a dive comp, maybe that's why I wanted to see the better chances for a dive comp in a map like this. And
but let's see what are we dealing with here with 15 seconds. More of a standard death ball, triple tank death ball coming out of Scouts and Knives. It worked for them last time. They were able to make the cap. But look at this defense. This is a counter dive defense. It's a classic dive comp. All the elements of the classic dive comp. Not single tank, but on the defense. How do you think this is going to work?
Look where they're hiding. They're hiding here. They're gonna, they're gonna wait for this team to get onto the payload and then literally just dive onto them.
Well, the payload is lava, so I guess they want to stay off.
So
and here we go with the initiation. Tilmo diving in, gets that bubble just in time. Johnny Sins dropping Naughty Fly. Savage battle going on right here. They are dead before I can spectate them. Tio just gets run down. 3 kills. Ladies and gentlemen, the reverse dive comp is working savagely.
Yeah, I think now that they know what's going to happen, and we already seen switches as Tio's going to go with that. McCree, I think, is getting tired of the Tracer and the Genji, but that's really the only switch they have right now.
Just updating the scores here real quick. Because we were doing best of 1 previously, I was updating the in-match scores, but now that we're on to a best of 3 series, we're going to go ahead and change it to reflect the score in the series as a whole. And Johnny Sins meets Scrooge in a dark alley. Let's see who gets the better of that particular. Oh, there's an angry scientist there. He doesn't want anything to do with that. Unfortunately, Scrooge drops the humbug on him. They go down. Tilmo now, the reverse dive comp, still trying to make things happen. Tio's swap over to... Yep, it looks like Scouts and Knives. Once it worked, twice not so much. Lots and lots of kills coming out here. Confiter doing his best to try to get some kills. Dodges the flashbang very nicely, but not going to be able to do anything to really stop the payload. At this point, it's really just a matter of trying to get some kills, trying to get some, maybe bleed off a little bit of time. But, yep, there is the capture. So, an excellent defense on the first round. It's the first successful defense we've seen, because so far every defense on this map has just been basically one shot.
Yeah, there was one chance where this team also had to defend one defend on the first attempt on point B. So we've seen a little bit better defense coming out of the payload is lava, but I don't know. I don't think they're going to be able to hold it with that dive, which is why Tilmo does get the switch. But the rest of them are still keep that.
Johnny Sins pulling out the Dragon Blade, remembers that he's had it this entire time. Will he do anything with it? Nah, doesn't particularly feel like it. But there is a Mercy there with his name on it and a Discord Orb. Dives right through a flashbang, manages to survive, comes around for more, and there is a Graviton with an Angry Russian in it. Down goes Zarya. Johnny Sins now coming back around, attacking the Monkey. Blue kill feed here, as the elements of the reverse dive comp are still in position. The DPS parts of it are still there.
Yep, and that Graviton really... you saw there, while they were pushing to the spawn from behind the team, they had Confiter, Tilmo, and Druid all pushing behind them, and they took out a few with that Graviton and was able to try to push the rest out.
here we go. Once again, trying to hold that high right-hand side. Tilmo, kind of caught in an odd position, gets charged down by Naughty Fly. Both Zaryas are on the job, but Confiter, buzzing around like a bee, takes out Naughty Fly, forcing Lexaeus back out of the fight. Let's check in. There's a Pulse Bomb with somebody's name on it, and a Dragon Blade waiting in the wings on Johnny Sins, who is still in the middle, engaging the DPS and off-tanks of the Scouts and Knives offense.
Yeah, Tielmo was nearly taken out, and Confiter get on that high ground as Tracer. She can zip up there, and was able to take out Naughty Fly. And they're really getting good at stalling this time now. And they're, with 6 minutes left, they want to have as much. No. They have the advantage. Oh,
Escapes, makes his way out. There's an Earth Shatter on the ground. The Dragon Blade is out. The Cowboy pulls out. Oh, that drops Johnny Sins mid ult. That was an excellent kill on that part. Let me just switch over. There we go. Now down on the point, battling it out. 40 seconds left on the clock. Angry Monkey, but nobody able to take advantage of the space that he is creating. The Scientist is not going to get the job done. Confiter drops Scrooge, and here we go with Winston trying to make an escape. Gox has a bomb with his name on it, and he just sits there and waits for the end. 20 seconds on the clock. Is there anything the Scouts and Knives can do to avoid the draw?
I mean, I really don't think there's anything they're going to be able to do here. They don't have that much time. There's not really any ults on their advantage that are good. There's still a Pulse Bomb, and
Off it goes.
the Mercy Res gone. Definitely not going to happen now.
Yeah, they definitely needed that. Nice gun work here by Tio. Gotta hand him that. Can he drop Confiter? No, he gets pulled into the, ooh! Ouch! Pulled into the Graviton. Confiter still running around on the sides. Tracer on Tracer battle. Lexaeus catches a nade, ducks around, doing his best to keep the point alive. It's not going to be enough. Oh, the res! Just gets the one, just enough to keep things going a little bit longer, and nothing done. 2 to 3.
Yeah. And now that we have 6 minutes available for comment, no, not like, comment, and subscribe. I'm looking at a different image here for the Payload is Lava, and I really think they're going to be able to get it. They had a really fast push on the first point, and I don't think we are going to be seeing a draw here. I truly believe that they're going to be able to get this push, especially if they keep Confiter on that Widowmaker, tearing it apart. So last time we did see a D.Va come out from Gox, I believe, as he was going to try to take out Confiter on Widow, but no.
Well, still managed to get a fair amount of value out of that Widow, to say the least. 6 minutes, have to capture both points. I think we're going to see a point A capture without too much difficulty, depending on what Scouts and Knives comes out with on this defense. And they're keeping the Winston, a smart play if they know that Confiter has that Widow in his pocket. But What has still not selected anything just yet. Let's see where we go with this. On to the Ana. Alright, so we have a 2-2-2 coming out. Kuzlnik sticking with the Mercy, hoping for the clutch res. And where are they going to post there? Where are they going to post up? Coming around the front. And the Payload is Lava, about to come out the gates once again. Oh, they're going Tilmo on the Pharah this time, immediately engaging over the top. Firing into that choke, getting hit by Ana. That damage nerf on Ana, definitely not helping. Tio already has a kill onto Johnny Sins, slowing them down a little bit. Naughty Fly dropping another one, so this is going to slow down the offense a little bit and at least buy them some time, which they need quite badly.
Yeah, I think Gox getting on that dive tank, whether it be Winston like he is right now or D.Va before, is really what's going to help him defend this. But it is going to, if it keeps working, it's going to force them to counter him. And I think that they can work around this. But it's good right now. They were able to hold the point. Unlike last time, they got completely overran by that.
True. That is another little sneaky there. Tilmo tried to hide out, but Gox was having none of it. But, oh, what is this? We got a couple of people on the Payload getting some work done here. Coming around the top, the kill feed a lot more balanced this time. Trying to get Johnny Sins on the Tracer doing lots of work, getting some people down here. Tio gonna drop very, very soon, and unless something changes, we are going to see the Payload is Lava capture point A. And Johnny Sins wasting absolutely no time getting right in there with the pulse bomb, waiting to blow somebody up and try to turn this into an absolute snowball.
Yeah, with 5 minutes available, you know, you do have a lot of time to get on there. There was only one sort of defense that came out from Scouts and Knives, so they're going to have to up their game. They're going to want to...
There's the bomb!
This map.
No kills!
That's going to force a res from Kuzi. Has got that available, and
Yep. All right.
they'll trade up kills here, but no one's on there, so there's already that one tick already gone.
Oh, you did not want to lose that. Who was in there getting that work done? That was dirty. Was that just cement droning around as Lucio? Oh, there's a rocket barrage off of Tilmo, and the TO dropping the tac visor, shoots down Tilmo the bird, getting a couple more kills. The scientist goes absolutely flying past, clearing cement off. This is a good time for a reset. Johnny Sins drops the pulse bomb, does manage to take out Naughty Fly, but not a whole lot more value. Probably would have been better off holding on to that, unless your team is already here, which they are starting to trickle back, but I definitely don't think that, oh god. Whenever you're casting, ladies and gentlemen, never look at Twitch chat. It will completely derail your train of thought. Who is on the point? Is that cement? Nope. Johnny Sins just darting around.
Back and forth this whole time.
Yep. Just keeping them distracted, preventing them from ever
Now,
getting...
if this was the PTR, they would have already won because they have that first tick, but it's not like that yet.
Yeah.
So, if anyone knows, now your ticks actually matter towards winning, so there's less draws. So,
Which I think we're all
maps like
grateful
this
for.
in Temple of Dranubis will be a lot more pleasant to play on because of these situations. But Tilamo getting caught out of position, and it's gonna stall this attack a few more seconds.
That's 50% of their time already bled off, not unusual on a point like this. The problem now, though, is that the defenders, Scouts and Knives, have almost 6 ultimates in their bank, and the attackers only have nearly 4. So, depending on how this goes down, that res could be critical, and it puts them in a position where they can use way fewer ultimates and then turn the tide.
But you also gotta look at, like, when you have someone like Johnny Sins and Convider who don't really need their ults to get a bunch of kills, it's not that much of an advantage.
Granted, Tilmo counters Lexeus' Graviton with just a death to the face. Tio takes out Cement in the alleyway. Convider goes around. That is Tio's tac visor coming out, trying to pick off Convider on the high ground, gets him, and this has just got to be another reset here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, they still got 3 up on that top, and they're outnumbered. So that if they rush, and they can probably get the kill and install some more time. But you know, there's no real follow-up from the payload or from Scouts and Knives, as they could overrush those 3, but now there's not enough time.
Yep, and they are down to 2 minutes now, ladies and gentlemen. The draw is coming. The draw wants us. Can we do anything to stop this from happening? Will we reap the seeds of our own folly, or will the Payload is Lava deliver us from the tiebreaker round?
Find out next time on
Overwatch Z. Alright, coming around the side, Tilmo could go very, very ham here if he can get that whole hog activated. Unfortunately, though, half of his team is dead. And while he may have just hooked Lexeus out of position, an excellent bubble. Oh, and then he pops the ult! Going right onto Naughty Fly, blasting him back to the payload. That's not going to do a lot of good.
I would say that was nearly a panic ult.
Yeah, that could have been huge if you used it to push everyone out of position.
Because right now they might as well have died, or just ran it back, because now they're already going to be 10 seconds delayed just for the team to run back.
And 1 minute to go, ladies and gentlemen. It is coming. Here we go. This is it. Misses the hook onto Lexeus. Pops the bubble. Goes for the kill. Johnny Sins now doing work from above. An extremely angry monkey in play. Knocked onto the ground and then charged out by the raid boss. Are we going to see anything here? Oh, that's 2 kills. 3 kills. Here comes, but where is... And Kuzelnik is down. Folks, there is not going to be a res. Is this it? Are we delivered? Can Lexeus hold it out? It's a battle of the scientists on the point. There goes the Graviton Surge. Conviter drops the scientist. Anna's on the point. The res comes out. The battle lasted just a little bit too long. Here they come. The Tracer is in play, trying to keep the point alive for a little bit longer. Naughty Fly back on. 14 seconds left on the clock. Conviter gets another kill, drops down. The Discord Orb makes short work of Naughty Fly. Scientist now back in play, trying to keep it out. A second tick. Almost there. The Rocket Barrage comes out. D.Va is not in position in time to eat it. D.Va gets desuited. D.Va gets deleted. Mercy on the point with no res. Ladies and gentlemen, we are so close. Immediately deleted. Oh, the gods are merciful.
Yeah, Scouts and Knives are really pulling out every card of the book out there. They late pick to that May as well in the end to try to trickle on there by as much time as possible, but it's really not going to happen as they have that less of an advantage. Their respawn time is longer, so there's really not much there. But good play from the Payload is Lava as they were able to get this, and it was a really close game for both sides, which is good to see this in an event like this where teams are necessarily most likely random, but both these teams on a similar level of skill, and really brings excitement. This is what a true championship is all about. There's some skill like this, but Conviter, getting that play there and getting the medal win here.
Yes, and I think more than anyone else, the casters are grateful for this.
And I think it's rigged though because Conviter's an admin, so he might have to be banned from future events.
Yeah,
he's no longer lagging. That's an issue.
That's true. The only thing that really kept things fair was when he was constantly disconnecting. It's the equivalent of icing the kicker. So, with the series now 1-up in favor of the Payload is Lava, we are going to everyone's favorite German castle, Eichenwald.
Yeah, oh wait, does this, no, never mind, this doesn't have the update yet. On the PTR right now there is an update with Eichenwald where there's an extra route. Unfortunately we won't be able to see that here yet. However, there's still other updates from the latest patch, such as Junkrat, Anna's been nerfed, as well as Sombra has had some buffs, but I think it'll be really interesting to see a Sombra here. I think Sombra's kind of effective on this map, especially since you can shut down that whole hold point at the bridge with the Sombra if you get that EMP. So, it looks like we're starting right away.
We are. Everyone's ready right out the bat.
Ready.
Let me just say, before we start
ahead.
commenting on this, how grateful I am that the season ended before they added that extra flank route to my team's home map. Thank you, Papa Jeff. Alright, folks. This time it will be the Payload is Lava on the offense to start out. And let's go right into it. And we're seeing something a little bit more conventional coming out here. We've got a Pharah Mercy combo, which should be fun to watch. Tilmo on the Reinhardt, Conviter on the Soldier, highly effective. Cement playing support. Binkley sticking with the Mercy for that Pharah Mercy combo, and Druid on the Roadhog. I remember seeing Druid in one of these other games before. Deadly with that hook. Meanwhile, on the defense, we have a very similar composition in a lot of ways. A couple of differences are Lexeus on D.Va, What on Lucio, and outside of that, it's essentially a mirror comp.
Yeah. I was really hoping we'd see a little bit more,
Junkrat?
interesting defense. No, I mean, I don't know about Junkrat here. Honestly, I don't know. I like Junkrat on Hanamura. There's a lot, like, in the start spawn.
Mm-hmm.
You just jump in, especially with the... Only on the... I usually hate Junkrat, I would say, but, like, recently I just, like, started playing it, and I don't know how viable it will be.
You traitor.
But I played it like Genji. Is the only way I do, where I get in the backline, dish out as much damage up close to that kid as possible, and then use my bomb to jump right out. But here, I was really expecting, maybe we'd see a Mei, because Mei's really effective here, at least in this current patch. Maybe less effective in the next patch. But either Mei or Symmetra, and we don't see either of those. There's some, basic comps from here, but we are seeing Johnny Sins on that far, which...
On that far flank, ladies and gentlemen, one of the more effective tactics here on Eichenwald. The next choice for this flank is where do you come in, and it looks like right over the gate tower to bomb the back of that defense, pounding both Reinhardt and the shield. Although Gox gets a nice hook on the Convider, that's going to shut them down a little bit. But Johnny Sin still getting some work done in that back line. Takes some heavy damage, but of course with the help of Mercy, like say as you can see, gunning for that Mercy, doing his best to take out that crucial bit of support that keeps the Pharah Mercy combo alive. And now Gox getting in on the action as well. I think we're going to see Pharah Mercy get the better of this. Let's check in on the front, ladies and gentlemen, as Naughtyfly in a very bad situation. In comes Tilmo, charging right into battle. Tio, nope, yep, trying to gun down the hostile. Oh, Johnny Sins gets one kill before getting pulled in and shut down. This is a bloody fight, ladies and gentlemen. Kills on both sides. Let's lose that third person. That is doing nobody any favors. Soldier on soldier duel right there, but I think they might be giving up the point. That is going to be the first tick coming around. Tio jumps onto the point, trying to hold it out a little bit longer. Meets Druid's hook. I think we warned him about this. And Gox going in, but with that on-a-nade on him, not going to last long. Burns the ultimate, no value. Kuzelnik gets the ult, but immediately hit by Tilmo and the tack visor. For an absolutely bloody battle here. Multiple ults used, lots of corpses all over the place, and the point captured with nearly 5 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, really well organization of their ults here, and they're all. I mean, they were getting ults as fast as they could. Johnny Sins did a lot of work with that Farg in the backline. They had that rocket barrage, which allowed his team to get on that point and get the majority of it. Kuz had a pretty nice res, but Tilamo fouled that up with a beautiful Earth Shatter that really secured that first point.
And that, of course, is the problem with. Let me just check in on Tilmo here as he battles right here on the point. Tio dropping the tack visor from above. Cat getting in the camera. Please move Cat out of the way. Thank you very much. Roadhog cuts short the reign of terror there. But what I was going to say is that Pharah, the Mercy res strategy only works if you get the enemy to burn their ults first. If they don't burn any of their ults or they have enough ults in reserve, they're just going to hold on to them, wait for everyone to be nice and shiny, like a gigantic laser pointer, and then take them out. Speaking of ultimates, there goes Tilmo's Earth Shatter on the offense, and he's on fire. He is killing people left and right. Don't know what you call this weapon on this skin, but he is using it to full effectiveness. Go ahead.
I would say it's an axe.
It's like a spade axe, a weird.
Yeah, it's like a spade. Yeah, it makes sense. You know, you have the rake from Roadhog and his special skin.
Yeah, it's all themed, right? It's Journey of the West. All right, ultimate's getting used left and right. Yet another Earth Shatter off of Naughtyfly this time. Let's see what he's able to get out of that. Aside from 20% ult charge, gets slept, doesn't feel like taking a nap, gets right back up, swinging his axe back and forth. This time they are going to clear out the payload and stop it under the bridge phase with about 3 minutes on the clock, but a very even trade back and forth. And actually, Johnny Sin's getting the better of Lexeus there. They are beaten and bloody, and if they don't have some support very quickly, no, it does look like we're going to have a full reset before we continue.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of this with Johnny Sin. The Convider will stay back, even though their team is down, just to get a bunch of kills or damage out. Johnny Sin's doing what he loves with his Dragon Blade. They're so close to getting this final point here. There's possibly one chance where defense, as Kuz has a res, so you could call that two, but someone's got to get on the payload fast as Tio does. We do have a fight on our hands.
Fixing the teams here, ladies and gentlemen. Convider in the back line, getting some work done, putting down some fire onto that point. As they advance, only the Reinhardt on the point with a little bit of support. Gets by with a little help from his friends, but here comes the tack visor. Naughtyfly hiding behind the shield. It crumbles. He faces the full wrath of that pulse rifle, tries to charge out, and just meets his death. Rocket barrage goes off, takes out Bingley before that, and doesn't get any value. Convider is already on the attack.
Yeah, I mean, it was so hard to see Gox use his ult right there on himself, and then you had two hit scans plus Drew on Roadhog, just annihilating him in the middle of that barrage. And this last point is going to be a little bit easier as they're moving in fast on this.
They are, and they have a couple of key ultimates to boot. They are going to have Nano Blade ready soon, depending on whether or not they save it. Tilmo has the Earth Shatter he's waiting for. He just needs to get a good opportunity. Not sure if that was it. They'll Didn't get a whole lot of value off of it. Druid goes off with the Roadhog, does manage to blast Naughty Fly into the next dimension. The Nano Blade is deployed and immediately deleted from existence as Tio just shuts him down. 2 ultimates, not a lot of value, and that fight definitely did not go the Payload is Lava's way, all things considered.
Oh, there was actually 4 ults blown there. As we started off with Tilamo only able to get the Lucio in the Earth Shatter, and followed up by that was Druid's ult, which took out the Rhine, but most of it was absorbed by the D.Va, and then that Nano Blade there, you know, really wasn't as effective as that Mercy Res came out and left everyone invulnerable. So that was probably the sloppiest ult play, I'd say, from the Payload is Lava we've seen today. As they've usually been pretty much on point there, and I think they just wanted to rush and get on there, but they didn't focus on that Mercy, and Mercy was able to come right back in off spawn and res.
One thing that I've noticed and that I've worked on with my team is if you get too when you're winning, if you get too bloodthirsty, you can make mistakes and throw the game. You really want that kill. You're going in all out. You feel the win right there. You're eager, and then everybody dies. A little bit like what we just saw there, where you're so close.
Barrage.
Yeah, you've got so many advantages, and you use them all instead of
and that's
cool.
really a call out. You can't really be using two ults like that in one fight. You get like one support ult and one attack ult if needed. And we saw both of their attack. Gox tried to rocket barrage, even though Tio nearly wiped out the whole team with his ult. So that's two less ults they would have had, and they would have had an even ult fight coming in. Now they're going to be at the disadvantage as Payload is Lava nearly has almost all their ults again.
Johnny Sins just kind of standing across court there, taking some fire. Let's go ahead and check in on him, though. He does have the Dragon Blade in his pocket. This is going to be another Nano Blade. 6 ultimates on the side of the Payload is Lava. With 30 seconds on the clock, they need to make a play, and Kuzelnik has to be included in that play. Here it comes. Here's the Nano Blade. Kuzelnik drops immediately. Tio is next. Johnny Sins absolutely getting the value he was looking for. The ultimates are going left and right. Self-destruct goes off. The sound barrier goes off on both sides. Naughty Fly gets his ultimate off before dying. Confiter with the tack visor. Left and right, back and forth. And the Payload is still contested as the defenders come roaring out of spawn with 5 seconds on the clock. Can they stop it? Closing in. Mostly red around the Payload, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see where this goes. Lexeus trying to make a last stand. Gets popped out, gets immediately taken down. Naughty Fly trying to make a stand. Not a lot of ultimates to work with. The res comes out, gets one. That is a res Baby D.Va. Fortunately comes right back. 2 counter charges back and forth. Naughty Fly squishes cement against the wall. Tilmo running amok in the defender spawn. Kuzelnik is dropped again by the mercy-seeking Genji. 2 more kills on the side of blue. This is a Payload that is not going to make that last stand unless this Dragon Blade is absolutely huge. And it is! It gets 2, 3! Holy crap, that was a huge play! Can they drop Gox? Can they get Kuzelnik off the Payload? This is the desperate last stand on the side of Scouts and Knives. Holding this back, keeping the Faith alive, trying to prevent them from getting it, closing it out, and leaving them a window where they can only win and close out the possibility of a draw. Are we going to see a map 3? The hammer goes down. Kuzelnik goes down. Tilmo gets countered out by Naughty Fly. Back in the action once again. And they close it out. Ladies and gentlemen, Scouts and Knives holds the line at 2 points and 61 meters.
Yeah, really intense fight there. Is drawn out quite long, and double Earth Shatter at the end from both of them, and Naughty's was just in time to keep them off the Payload. Really though, Kuz had a brilliant res there. It was almost getting taken out. And you saw Johnny Sins really trying to go for the Mercy. He pretty much dropped everything. He was like, oh, Mercy's back up now. Gotta get Mercy. And when he had that Nano Blade, he looked like it was so close to getting on the point or being the match. And I really thought that they were gonna get that there, especially with the combo from Confiter on the Tracer. But oh wow, that was one intense fight that I hope we see again coming in on this side. But it looks
Likewise.
like we are going to see a change up here, as we haven't seen a dive comp come out from the Scouts and Knives. So we are going to be seeing them. Naughty Fly is going to be getting off the Rhine and getting on that Winston. I know he's been playing that a bit, that he's on my team, and he's trying to get that switch to Winston. He's usually only on Rhine and Zenyatta and our dive. So but we haven't really seen much changes from this team. We haven't like Kuz is going to be on Mercy again. I would opt for a Zen here, but we are actually going to see a Symmetra coming from Cement. So a little interesting. Not interesting. More exciting, I'd say, on the defense side is setting up that car wash. Hopefully, can get enough charge to get teleporters. They're gonna. Looks like they're really gonna try to hold it to this point. As Convider is gonna get on Genji now. So we haven't seen Convider on Genji yet. We've seen Johnny Sins playing that role. We are gonna be seeing Convider on it. So we'll see if Convider can get the sick plays like Johnny's been getting.
Johnny Sins now on the Zarya instead, so let's see how this goes. Now, one downside to the Symmetra defense is they are playing the Winston, a perfect counter, and up he goes, and over he goes. Throwing around with the Tesla cannon. Lasers going down, taking out most of those. Somebody is already on the point. Convider gets his first kill, dropping Gox. Let's check in on Tio, who's on the offensive Genji. Battle of the Genjis here, going back and forth. Tio trying to make his escape as every single person that he loves is cut down ruthlessly.
And they're pushing them. They're really gonna try to get them off. Waste that time. They have only 3 minutes now, and they've seen that low health. They're really gonna try to push them off.
Yep. So first push, no dice. 3 minutes left on the clock. Gets to reflect on that fire blast. Let's take a look at the ult economy. Relatively balanced on both sides. No, I would say that the advantage is in the Payload is Lava's favor. But what's really going to matter, first off, can he get the kill on Binkley? Yes, he does. Drops him down. Big Earth Shatter coming out of Tilmo. Did he get any value off of it? That is a red kill feed. So we're going to go ahead and go with yes. Cement got his kill as well. And that is absolutely key. If your Symmetra drops before getting that ultimate off, you have wasted huge amounts of value.
Yeah, and Symmetra putting up the teleporter. They opted for that rather than the shield gen. And they're really going to try to get this hold. If they win this, they win the series, they win the tournament. So we're going to have to see as they get this death ball out now on Scouts and Knives. They're really going to try to...
Speaking of death ball, there's the Graviton Surge. Absolute slaughter as Convider goes ham with that Dragon Blade. Triple kill. The team kill bell rings for Scouts and Knives.
I swear, Convider and Johnny Sins gotta be having some kind of competition of who's gonna get the better Genji play of the game. And I think Convider just took it off Johnny's hands. That was just an amazing combo. But Johnny Sins was the lead cause for that. I'd say with that Graviton that nearly picked up their whole team. And there's only nearly less than 2 minutes left. And with who's getting taken out, that's just gonna stall even more time for this team to get a good push going.
Druid reached out and dragged that Angel right back down to earth. Let's go ahead and check on Gox, see what he's able to do here. Gets a little bit of value, pops over the side, has the ultimate ready, nearly dead. 12 hit points dropped by Convider. That is going to cost them. Checking in on Tio here on the choke, still just battling back and forth. Not able to get a whole lot of value here on this this battle here in the choke. They don't. The problem is, without Pharah to engage, they don't have a strong tool to get over that choke and really make a big play. They would need an ultimate like Earthshatter or Graviton to make that happen, and it's just not there yet.
Yeah, with that, because they had to make that switch, they don't have that those ults readily available, and
that is going to cost them.
Oh, the res now.
Kuzanix with the res, Tio with the res and the counter res out of Binkley. Trading kills on both sides, and ooh, that Graviton could cost them quite a bit. They don't have a res in their pocket. Kuzelnik getting killed out. Oh, Druid escapes with just a sliver of health. Tio wants the kill. He's hungry. He's going for it, but it's a good chance. Yep, Roadhog already vaped. We get it. You are dead, sir. Here comes the barrage over the side. Gets Convider for his trouble, but then gets killed by Roadhog. The initiation off of the sound barrier. This is their last chance, ladies and gentlemen. There is nothing left. If they don't take it here, this series is over. 17 seconds on the clock. A big Earth Shatter comes out. Tilmo almost down, but melted by the microwave. Cement going crazy with the oh, and here comes Convider with the Dragon Blade. Gets his man, going for more. But there's nothing else to find. The Graviton just to lock everybody out. Catches the DJ in there. Ladies and gentlemen, the payload is lava, and your champions are determined.
That was just utterly destructive defense by the payload is lava. Insane. The ult management was on point. all over across the board. Right at the end there, I already knew that they were going to get that because Johnny Sins and TLMO had some amazing CC ultimates available, and here we go with that Combiner play of the game with the help from Johnny Sins and co.
So does this mean that Johnny Sins has to buy the next round, or is it because it was a combo they can split the bill? I'm not sure how that works.
I'm not sure.
We'll leave it to them to work out.
Right, yeah, they can sort that out, but yeah, amazing Genji plays. But Johnny Sins gets the medal as the exchange there for the play of the game. So it all works out for both. But yeah.
Well, folks, thank you for joining us in our second North American Overwatch University League Midweek Madness. Say that 5 times fast. The Payload is Lava are your champions for round 2. They will all receive the coveted pink title on Overwatch University League. Their names will be remembered forever in a spreadsheet that we're going to set up somewhere, I promise. I'd like to thank everybody for joining.
Some Hall of Fame.
Exactly. A digital Hall of Fame. Thank you, everyone who participated. Thanks to all of our players. Thanks to my fellow caster, Pimp in the Crib. And for all of you for sticking with us despite our memory and amateur production issues. Normally, Pimp handles that side, and he's fairly slick, if I do say so myself. Any announcements or anything else that we need to say to round this out, Pimp?
I just want to remind everyone that we will be announcing Season 2 information likely this week. We'll try to get some out. I really want to get some out because people are dying to know when they can sign up and when stuff's gonna come out for Season 2. They want as much information as possible. We'll try to get to you as soon as possible. And also, if you haven't, please follow us here and follow us on Twitter at OW University. Subscribe to our Reddit page at reddit.com/r/Overwatch University, and go to our Discord at discord.gg/OW University. Thank you all for watching, and stay tuned. We will be hosting more of these events. We'll try to get them on different days of the week so that people can play whenever, as well as we'll try to get some more events, especially during the off season, on the weekend to fill in for when the league's not in session. So stay tuned, and please spread the word too. We are the largest Overwatch recreational league, so it'd be good to get that out there. We have a lot of opportunities for people from all skill levels to play against people of their skill level and have a fair opportunity to play. So more information coming soon. That's really all I got. If you want to add anything?
No, like I said, if you are on the Overwatch University League Discord and are not a member of a team, stay tuned. We're going to be, when we do team signups, you'll have the opportunity to meet captains who want to assemble teams. If you are a captain who wants to build a team, or you already have a team from outside, you've just put one together with your friends and you're looking for some place to play, hit us up, join our Discord, keep an eye out on the updates channel because like Pimp said, we will be making an announcement about enrollment for Season 2. We're looking to bring in as many teams as possible, get this league as large as possible, to give more opportunities to the people down where I am in your gold, plat, and lower range, where there's not as much competitive. It's hard to get a really competitive game going because most of the people playing in leagues are diamond, masters, etc.
Yeah.
We want to give that experience to everybody, no matter where you fall on the SR chart. So follow us, keep an eye out on things. We're going to be making an announcement about Season 2 soon, and we hope to see you there.
I also I had one more thing that I wanted to mention, that because we are at the end of the season, there are been a lot of questions about the second and third place games. Yes, they are still going on. There'll be more information about those as well coming out. But with that, we also need people to get their games casted on the weekend. With this being like the end of the season and like sort of like a makeup week, we don't have as many teams playing right now because most of the games are done. But if you have a game that you're making up, or maybe your second, third place game, or maybe you just want to set up a scrimmage, please fill out the form to have your game streamed. It's in the updates channel, so fill it out there and please submit it so that we have some content for the weekend stream. We are nearly approaching 300 followers, so there's a Season 2 question in Discord, fam. We will answer that. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. We will answer it there. So I mean, I could kind of answer it here as well, but we'll type it out there. The way we're going to work in new people in Season 2 is, as Noam said a little bit ago, we'll have opportunities for captains to meet players to fill in, as well as players to get together and form teams. We didn't really have it this last season for captains to. I mean, we put the teams together ourselves. We want to try to get away from putting the teams together because there was some incompatibilities. We want to give more responsibility to the players, but in the end, we still want everyone to be able to sign up. We're not going to discourage people to not sign up because they don't have a team. We still want to work in people so they can meet people. It's a big thing about this league is that we're so inclusive that we accept people who are single signups, and that's one thing is that we're building a community. We want to build all these. Bring all these people together, and that's exactly what these kind of events do that we're doing right now. Is we bring people together from all sorts of skill levels, and they can get a learning experience while in there. Like Binkley, you've seen Binkley playing. This is the second time, at least the second time, Binkley's been in a championship game, winning the first Mardi Gras Madness, which was our first event ever. So and that's a bronze level player, and you see players like Confiter who just won, who's on that Grandmaster level. So you have players from all sorts of playing fields that are able to learn from the higher ups, and gives the brings the whole community together as a whole is the way I like to describe it. So to answer the question about season 2, yeah, there will be we have a lot of ways to work in new people into season 2 and new teams. So that more of that information, as I said, will be posted soon. We'd like to do it Friday. We wrote up the rules and stuff. We just got to get it reviewed, and then we'll just kind of do a what's going away, what are we keeping, what's going to be new, stuff like that, and how people can more get involved. So stay tuned on that. We'll get that information out. But I think that's really it we have on here. But thank you all for watching again, and please please branch out as much as possible for us. We want to keep this community strong as Overwatch. They just had information coming out about Overwatch League. The teams, the city that's going to be based around. So if you're in one of those cities, maybe you attend to some of those events and try to get some people, recruit some people into the community as well on all sorts of platforms. And we kind of want to build this base as a friendly center for players of all Overwatch levels. The way I look at it is I want to bridge the gap from casual to competitive. There's no real in between there on how you can get to that competitive level. So this is a perfect way that we can bridge that gap.
Exactly. I think that just about does it. If you have more questions, drop them in the Discord under the questions channel. My fellow admins and I, Pim, for example, are happy to answer them for you. Outside of that, thanks everyone for joining us, and have a fantastic night.
Yep. Good night.